Hello, my name is Alonzo Wares, and I'll be deconstructing and analyzing New World's crafting system. For this analysis, I will only be covering what you can make at 3 stations, because everything else would take much longer. In New World, in order to start the crafting process, you have to collect resources. For my breakdown, I'm going to craft some iron weapons and equipment. As you can see, I'm collecting wood and iron. When you do these actions, you need to have the right level to collect it. We can see this gathering level when we finish collecting to the right of my cursor at the top of the box. On the technical side, I think it is fairly simple because all the designer needs to do is code in level requirements into a presumably pre-made leveling system that is copy and pasted before being changed to the designer's needs. Now, going to the crafting stations, we see the transformation of wood to timber, and in the forge we see a similar process of iron ore to iron ingots. In this step, we can fully break down the creation of the resources. If we break it down technically, to fully complete this process, we need the item's base component, which is the iron ore, the correct workstation with appropriate level for the material, which in this case would be 3 or 4, and the level necessary to complete the action, which would be my crafting level at the time. Uh, Note that they have 3 different levels. They have one for collecting the resources, one for smelting and refining the resources, and one for crafting the resources into items. And if any of these items is not correct, we cannot do said action. From a technical standpoint, these are basic checkbox items. They get fairly complex when put together because you need to make sure everything is correct before you can start crafting, which in this game can take a while. Next we come to the crafting of weapons and armor. We can break this down into essential steps and optional steps. First we have the essential steps. Like before, we need the base components, correctly leveled workstation, and level to complete the craft. Once we have these base essentials, we can add 2 extra options. We have the first one, which lets you choose the stat increases you want on your gear. And we have the second option, which increases the chances to get a random perk. From a technical standpoint, the first extra option is complex on its own, because it has to take an item, and based on that item, place the correct stat combinations, while still randomizing the point distribution. For the second extra option, it has to randomize a perk from the perk pool appropriate for the player's level at the time. Of course, all these functions scale with the player's resource collection as their level gets higher. The breakdown of the crafting is interesting because we can see that on the surface it is pretty simple. It is standard game functions that have been used before that are combined in a way that makes the system fairly complex. All of the crafting systems follow this pattern as well, so in order to make higher level gear, all crafting systems have to be level 2. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.